has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad. See the broken, eat a bad apple with a bad attitude, hanger with a bad, and a bad tape, bad law, bad do, bad breath, bad attitudes, bad vibes. We are live in the Magic City Studios in the Ferrall Palatial, right across the river and through the woods from where Granny's coming over today. She got the fire blazing. She's ready to rock the Steeler-Bill game as long as she's got a fat eighth of the A1 Yola hybrid in New York City. The Big Apple. Ooh. People dress in plastic bags to right to travel some kind of fashion shade up to do. Party up. Rats on the west side, bedbugs uptown, but a mess is tossed and tattered, but brain splattered all over Manhattan. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. Yes, I do, but I like I should do that. Yeah. Oh, woo, woo. I think I might have caught something from Keith. Should do that. Yeah. Hey, what's gigging? I'm Ferrall, along with your boy Carver. Hi this afternoon. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, running it along with Luke, I am Yohada, and our boy Johnny Del Frisco's Grill, Weehawken style, in on an afternoon grind. Can you even believe it? On a Misery Monday, the birthday roll call. Fred Davis, 38, Armando Shalgura, I'm just kidding, Galarraga, 42, Matt Holliday, 44, Drew Brees, 45, Corey Chavis, 48. Ray King, 50. Mike Minner's birthday as well, 50. LaShawn Johnson, 53. Leonard Wheeler, 55. Double nickels with Delino DeShields and Adam Burt. B-Hop, 59. My boy Bernard Hopkins. He's still picking fights with people, by the way. Getting in, like, fights at boxing events. He's picking fights with people. Randy White, 71. I always hated him because he was a cowboy. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. We welcome our radio affiliates to Coast to Coast on a wild card Monday. Sirius XM channel 159, our satellite partners all over the Southern Hemisphere. What's up on that 159 push, biatch? And, of course, Sports Byline and their radio affiliates out of San Francisco, Deepak holding it down for us. Tons of live NBA and NHL action today. It is all evolving on Martin Luther King Day. Hope everyone's having an awesome holiday. Let's start with this. Penguins 2-0, early third on the Kraken, who've won 9 in a row. Bruins lead the Devils 1-0. It's a final. Ducks down 4-3 to the Panthers with 17 left. Canucks lead in Columbus 3-2 with 18 left. Sabres beat the Sharks 3-0. Rockets down big in Philadelphia, 98-77 going to the fourth. Mavs up 19-7 early on the Pels. Magic Knicks getting set to go at the world's most famous Everything Else Is Later. The Packers slaughtered the Cowboys 48-32. Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson still trying to sell the Cowboys comeback a day later. The worst broadcast in television history with those two. And I love Kevin, but I haven't seen him in 15 years, so screw him too. Honestly, that was the worst call of a game I've ever seen in my life. Down 40, and you're still telling me they're trying to salt the game away? Be careful. Things happen fast in this league, is what Olsen said. I'm gonna play all of their quotes on this show today and embarrass them until I'm finished making fun of them. I'm not even kidding you. I couldn't even fathom it. Did you see me tweeting last night, Carver High? I tweeted so many good ones. I was knocking 50,000 hit tweets out one after the next, making fun of those two, trying to keep viewers on Fox. Here's a tip for you. People turn the channel. They don't care what you say to them. If the game sucks, the game sucks. I got fired as an NHL play-by-play guy. We were down 7-2 in the game. What did I say, Carver High? We're taking it in the and that was the end of me. And the guy said, how could you say that about our team? I go, you haven't won in a month and a half. He goes, "You're drunk." I go, "I gotta be drunk to watch you play. By the way, I think you're a P too." And so's my co-host. I said the color guy was, I called him a P too. I said, "I'll beat his ass." Those two sucking off the Cowboys on national television for 4 hours was the most humiliating thing I've ever seen in my life. And they're the top two guys at the network. I mean, take a clue. If you can't see what happened during that game yesterday, you're an idiot too. Darnell Savage, we got him with a pick six. Hizzy. It was 27-0, and Kevin was still saying that Cowboys had a chance. All they need is a big start in the second half. The game was over at 27-0, 48-16. He said they're trying to salt it away. I have never. He should go back to doing Mets reports from the stands. Jerry Jones was upset. Here's a tip for everybody at ESPN that spent 16 hours today asking every analyst in the world if Mike McCarthy's going to get fired. They fired him last night at halftime of that game. Okay, they just haven't told you yet. Okay, he's as good as fired last night at halftime. Dak wants him to stay. He'll be lucky if he stays. The Lions beat the Rams in a great game, 24-23. We got all of that for you. How about Saturday? Unbelievable. The Chiefs beat the Dolphins 26-7. Nice calls that Patrick Mahomes gets, huh? Touch him and you got roughing the passer. Touch him. All you got to do is touch him and he gets a roughing flag. Did you see the hit on Stafford yesterday where he got stepped on his face and his shoulder and targeted with a helmet shot to the head? No flag. You do that in Kansas City, he'll have 7 flags and like 90 yards of free plays. And that fat coach of theirs, too. How long do we have to hear about the snots on his mustache during the broadcast? Or how many times do we have to listen to Tirico tell me about Taylor Swift? Honest to God. I am great, aren't I, to start the show? I mean, honestly, you got to think just for a second. Even Carver High's like, "Get me a Bud Light." He's on a tear today. We got it all for you. Davis Maddock will join us. He's got a bunch of picks for tonight's games. Adam Kaplan joining us. He's completely on the take for the Eagles, like I am the Steelers, and like Carver High is for the Bills. You're not going to believe the show that we're doing today. We're going to break down everything, the Steelers-Bills game, the Philly-Bucks game, you name it. We're going to talk about everything. We got all your Buffalo Steeler highlights going into this thing. We got Tomlin going to discuss coaching with his family after the season. Here we go again. I need to sit down with my family. I need to spend more time with my family. I need to spend less time with my family when they interfere with my hockey and football viewing and gambling problem. We got Carver High's Tutty picks. We got all that. Tonight's NBA plays. Tonight's NHL plays, college rap plays. At 4:25 Eastern, another communist is going to join us. That Morency, that homerized milquetoast Bills Mafia fan, teaming up with Carver High. Those two fascists, the Malachi Crunch. I got something for him today. Something for him at Get High Mark Stadium. We got a little Steelers bells. Everybody doing it on Coast to Coast.
Your team name sucks. Your uniform sucks. Get in there. Be better. Suck. Buffalo Bandits.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
My goodness, if the Bucks come out strong and certainly make a point to say, look, even though we haven't been playing our best basketball, we're here to beat you down. And that's a big-time win for the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And the New York Knicks has one of the easiest schedules the rest of the way. If you look at a site like Tankathon, the Knicks have right now the 20th easiest schedule the rest of the way. Folks, they're 2.5 games behind Philadelphia. Philadelphia's starting to slip a little bit. I don't think the Knicks get the 3, but they should be a top 16 in the Eastern Conference.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You have sat down with Nick Saban for a lengthy interview. You have spoken to Nick Saban multiple times throughout his career. How surprised were you?
I mean, he's not going anywhere, I don't believe. And at the end of the day, very surprised. Athletic department surprised. Talked to a few people, Alabama folks, late last night, early this morning. Very surprised. Didn't see it coming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
We'll look at the Heisman Trophy
The Early
race
Line.
and what it all means. Individual success.
You should have tried to get something for Anthony Rendon. Not bought at the deadline.
Newswire.
We're getting a lot of news, trades, cuts, and some movement in terms of starting quarterback,
Ferrall,
backup quarterback.
coast to coast.
I want to watch great players make buckets and win games.
Game time
You
decisions.
have no idea what the heck the Blazers are doing and what they
In-game live.
Just
Prime
took them
time.
yard for a grand slam.
The bottom of the fourth inning in a 12-2 baseball game. We got football scores going on at Wrigley right now.
Sports Rage
That was
Late
good betting.
Night.
We waited for 1.5. We got paid
We
information. Didn't like the 2.5. Jumped on
There's
it.
no taking weeks off in golf betting, ever. These are the best weeks to bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Time to turn talk into action. Step 1, fire up your BetMGM Sportsbook. Step 2, make your pick. And Step 3, showtime. Now that hunch has some weight to it. Every play, every game means something more. Because now, you're betting with the king of sportsbooks.
Get the SportsGrid app. It's free on iOS or Play Store for Android. You can watch the network, listen to the network. It's got stats, odds, in-game odds, stories, highlights, videos. Follow your favorite hosts. It's free. You're going to love it. The SportsGrid app. I've turned, I think, close to, I'm guessing, 100,000 people onto it. Like, just people I don't even know. Like at the store, people think I'm creeping on them. Have you ever seen the videos on like Instagram of the guy that farts on people in the store and looks at him while he's doing it? And everybody's like so offended. I do the same thing with people I don't know. It's just I creep up on them and show them the SportsGrid app. And then I fart. Are we on the air? Jax, no, don't talk about your gas. Okay. They want me to focus on the show at this point, and the red phone is not lit up yet, but it did today earlier. I got a call earlier today for some of my behavior. I got to tell you, it's a true story. Fired doing NHL play-by-play because I said the Thrashers were taking it in the dumpster, and I said it on air, ass. And they fired me. You know what I said? Good, because I will never change. Watching your crappy hockey team, I'm going to tell it like it is. And millions of fans in Atlanta loved me. They loved me more than the hockey team. In fact, I was the most popular player on the hockey team, and I was the play-by-play guy. It was so embarrassing. 9 years later, they were broke and in Winnipeg. Who's laughing now? All right, so I will never listen to some guy. I got to prove it. I can't do the show normal today, Mike. I just can't do it. I got to prove it.
It's okay.
Here it is.
I don't
Here
mind that. It's not a normal day. It's not. We're
Here it
not
is.
doing a normal show.
It is not
so that's
normal.
fine.
No script. 34-16 with 3 minutes left in the third, and Kevin Burkhardt said, I got it. And Kevin, I worked at MSNY, but the statute of limitations is up. I asked Carver High before the show, I go, is it okay for me to make fun of this guy? Because I haven't seen him in 15 years. And now he's making big money, and he's on network TV. And he's the guy that, I told you about the other one, Schrager. He's another one. I made him, and then the guy never talks to me again once he gets on NFL Network. Well, I only worked there for 15 years too, but he won't talk to me. Burghardt won't talk to me. So I don't care who my friends are. I had a heart explosion. I almost died. So here's the deal. This clown yesterday, and you can quote me, 34-16. The game was 34-16 with 3 minutes left in the third, and he said, quote, "Still plenty of time left in this one, Greg," end quote. I was sitting there watching the game, and I went, what? I started tweeting out his bad comments. Here you go. I got another one. Still plenty of time left. Up. Then it gets worse. It really did get worse. How about this one? 41-16, and LaFleur's throwing challenge flags. They're up 41-16, and the guy throws a challenge flag, but question a call. And then I wrote, now it's 48-16. They scored again. He said, quote, "They've made it interesting," end quote. And I was like, that's the end of your career. It is the end of your career. And then how about this? They're down 48-16. Or 48. Let me get this right. I got to get it right. 48-24. 48-24. Here comes Olsen. Quote, Olsen, quote, "Got to be careful. It happens fast in this league," end quote. And then I think that pretty much does it. Like, those are the most embarrassing. This is one that I put out. It got over 30,000 hits in an hour. I wrote, ESPN really needs to spend more time talking about the Cowboys and Lakers. They spent all day today, and I can't even watch it. I just got it on in the background. They literally spent all day talking about the Dallas Cowboys and what to do, what will happen. Oh, my God, do you think? They asked every guy. They actually had Schefter and that terrible Orlovsky quarterback. He's good on TV, I guess, but he's the worst quarterback that ever played the game in the history of football since leather helmets. Those two lovers were in a hotel room together in Tampa, and they asked him if they thought that Mike McCarthy was going to get fired. They asked every single analyst, even the guys like Foxworthy went to like Harvard, didn't he? He's like one of the smartest guys in the world. Even he doesn't have the stones to say that Mike McCarthy. I mean, they cut his head off last night, and like he didn't even get out of the locker room before they beheaded him. Don't even tell me that guy's not fired. I'm not going to sit on. Can you imagine me on this network on SportsGrid not having the stones to say that guy's getting fired? He was fired last night. Here's another one. I told you 2 months ago Belichick and Carroll were getting fired, and that happened too. The only one I got wrong was Saban. I never saw that coming. But they've all put Bill Belichick in his place. He's taken the job in Dallas. I mean, it has been, to me, honestly, Mike, you tell me, this has been the worst 20 hours of television I've ever seen in my life. And that includes everyone, Fox, ESPN, and it don't include us.
Doesn't include us.
Run the tape. Send it to ESPN. Send it to Fox. Send it to Burkhardt. Send it to Schefter. I'm friends with Schefter's brother. He loves ripping bong hits. Little Adam drinks tea in the morning with Adam Kaplan, green teas in that crowd. I'm over here with Carver High drinking Scotch whiskey.
Well, I'll agree. I'll say this. You're right. They did a bad job yesterday. That was tough. That second half. I get the idea. You know, you don't want people to leave. It's 48-16, whatever the hell the score was. You don't want people to leave, but
you got to be funny.
It was over the top.
You got to be funny and entertaining when it's over. The game's over.
They were doing mathematical equations about how many possessions they have left and if it was possible. And like, I felt like I was back in algebra. Like, let's just like that.
He goes, you got to hurry up. Hurry up.
You want to know what they could have did in that second half instead of doing all of that? Pump up the Packers a little bit for kicking their ass.
Never talked about the Packers once. They never talked about the Packers once.
How about pumping those guys up for what they did in that game? What a performance by them, Scotty. Like,
how about this?
Kidding me?
You and I are doing a game, and I would have, I would have done it. I would have gone, Mike, can you pass the KY, please? Right in the middle of it, I would have said, can you just pass me that KY liquid, please?
I guess now's a good time to remind everyone that we're on until 8 o'clock East. We'll be here for the entire
How about this one, Mike? How about this one? How about this one? Mike, you wanted medium well or rare? You know, like we are cooking in the broadcast booth. Anything.
Yeah,
Do you want a double
very
or
good.
just a single scotch? 2 fingers or one?
Yep.
I mean, like,
Two.
when you're down 40, I mean, you got to start being entertaining and funny. And those two, yeah, and here's the deal. Now you know why they gave Tom Brady $300 million to go on Fox. And then Greg's going to be doing the 2 or 3 game. You know, the second or third choice of the week. And I love him at the U. I love Kevin, but I am not nice when I watch a game where the broadcaster sucks so bad. I'll tell you what, Al Michaels dead in a casket and rotting with worms on his face would call a game better. In the casket, dead with worms going through his nose in the ground, 6 feet under. I would have called a game better with a giant tube shoved down my throat in ICU after my heart exploded and 70 lines hooked up to machines to keep me alive while my wife is banging my surgeon. I still would have called the game better. You heard me. Quote me on that, too. Send that one upstairs. I'm right.
All right.
Jack B. Nimble's over there right now. He's chewing his fingernails and drinking beer and spilling it all over himself.
Today's a little bit different than other days. You got to do the Lion's Share next with Davis Matty. You got Kaplan after that because we're getting ready. 425 East. Morency joins us. Bills, Steelers. They cleared the snow off the field in Orchard Park. The sun is shining. Let's have a football game.
Kaplan knobbing on Eagles. Here we go.
My goodness, if the Bucks come out strong and certainly make a point to say, look, even though we have been playing our best basketball, we're here to beat you down. And that's a big-time win for the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I'll say 12 or more years of suffering. The last, take a look. Go look at it yourself. After Bear Bryant, all they did was lose.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
This is one of the hardest jobs in all of football. You are replacing Bear Bryant. You are replacing Nick Saban. You are replacing guys who won national championships, and they still wanted him out. They still wanted him gone.
Mike Shula, you're replacing
was
him?
a disaster. Dubos was a disaster.
Gene Stallings.
That's what I mean. They ran him out. He won a national championship, and they ran Gene Stallings out.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Good move by the Clippers, and obviously, folks, they have Tyronn Lue, who I think is one of the best coaches in the league. And I'll say this right now, folks, the way they're playing, I know Minnesota's in first. I know Oklahoma City's been great. I know Denver's been fantastic. But the team I'm thinking right now that could actually come out of the West, if they stay healthy, and he keeps playing like that, it's Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
They were saying there's no way he could not possibly do this. He won't hold out.
Pro League Soccer powered by Marca.
Scoring teams in the league. They have 80 goals so far.
College football today.
The Hawks team total in the first half is 0.5.
Pro football today.
Interesting props in this game, but I would be cautious laying this number here with the Houston Texans.
In-game live, all access.
The NFC in terms of these wild cards and in terms of the playoff picture.
In-game live, prime time.
Rich, I don't know, man. This has just been one of those games that doesn't make a lick of sense.
In-game live, overtime.
You want to give the over 3-1 on a pretty good team. It's hard not to take some flyers.
Football full circle.
Well, NFL officials stink. They always will stink, and they'll always ruin the game. Yeah, that's just part of what it is.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
All right, so we got so much going on. You got to know about the big game 58. Bet $5, get 158 instantaneously. It's unbelievable. Use the bonus code SG158. Place your first wager on your new BetMGM Sportsbook app through the app, the mobile app, for at least $5. You're going to get 158 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of the wager's outcome. Download the app on iOS or Android. Visit BetMGM.com. Sign up, deposit $5 into your new account. Place a wager of at least $5 at standard odds. Once you've placed the bet, you're going to get $158 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager. You know what I like about BetMGM? They saw their competitor do one, and so they immediately, like 10 minutes later, came out with their own, giving people more money. You know what I mean? Like, these guys over here are like, we're going to give away this much. And then BetMGM goes, oh, yeah, watch this. We're going to give them more. You know why? It's because they got that gold lion. That thing's worth billions, that thing. So they just go, it's like Mahomes' helmet. They chipped a piece off of his helmet. They go out there and chip a piece of the gold off. They sell it at the stock market. And they get they got like billions, and then they just start giving it to people like you and me. They're just giving people money, $158 all over the place. David's Lee Rodmatic joins us every day on Coast to Coast. He also does fantasy sports today with the main man, Scoop Mish, on Saturdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Recently, he started wearing blazers out with his long hair, and he's noticed that his wife's very jealous of him because when he just goes down to the store to pick up some soup, he ends up coming out of the store with like 5 chicks all over him. And she saw him and got livid, and then she threw a can of soup at his head, and the whole thing started in the parking lot. He slipped on some ice, tore his suit. They haven't spoken in 2 days. It's unbelievable.
But we're here.
But we're here, and we still have a gambling problem. What did you think of the, the games Saturday, Sunday? Let's start with Saturday. What did you think of Stroud and the Texans having sex with the Browns and their greatest defense in the NFL?
Well, I mean, I thought that Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator for the Texans, did a really good job learning from his experience in that game against the Indianapolis Colts. They did not go run, pass one time in the first half of that game. I don't think they went run, pass until they were already up by 15 points in that game. So Bobby Slowick said, I got CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, you're the man. Let's chuck the ball deep. The Browns, I mean, look, it was an absolute fairy tale run. We know that in the NFL, great offense is going to beat a great defense 10 out of 10 times. Just look at every team that wins the Super Bowl, every team that is favored in these games. It's always the better offensive team that ends up winning these really high leverage spots. So the Browns, they have this great historic defense. Wasn't enough, not going to be enough for the Ravens. The Ravens defense may be even better than the Browns, but if Lamar and the boys on offense don't do their job, they're not going to be winning anything as the months continue to get colder either. But really, just impressed with CJ Stroud. I mean, he's the man.
So we were talking about the Chiefs a little bit earlier. I was anyway, with all the calls they get. I mean, to tell you, the Wilkins love tap shove of Mahomes was my favorite call of the night when they gave him a roughing the passer on that one. I'll give you the earlier one, the shot to his knees. I'll give you that one, but there's no way that Wilkins was a roughing the passer. And then all you have to do to see that it's not is watching what happened to Stafford last night in Detroit when they not only targeted his head, but then knocked him on his ass and then stepped on his face and stepped on his shoulder and injured him, and no flag. You're either Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift, or you get no calls in the NFL. If you're the Chiefs, you get every single effing call on the field all night long, and they gift wrap you wins so you can just keep playing. The whole night, all I said was, they're going to give this to Mahomes so that he can play Josh Allen next week. The Steelers have no chance today against Josh Allen because the NFL and their corrupt refs have it all figured out.
Yeah, I mean, this is the deal. You are either the Kansas City Chiefs or you're not. And if you are not a Kansas City Chief or you're not a Kansas City Chief fan, it's always going to be, oh, Mahomes, he whines to the ref. They're always whining. They're always complaining. And you're right. Mahomes does get a lot of calls because Mahomes is the best and most important player in the league. Brady got all those calls. Manning got all those calls. Who doesn't get those calls? Justin Fields. Justin Fields did not get one roughing the passer penalty called on him once the entire year. It's not fair. You can actually see it, by the way, when Mahomes scrambles. There was that scramble in the third quarter where he got them down to the 3-yard line. You could see a Miami Dolphins defender put his arms out and then actually just moved his arms out of the way because he was afraid. He was afraid to tackle Mahomes too hard because he didn't want to get a roughing penalty. Yeah, and it's a weapon. It's an advantage the Kansas City Chiefs definitely have it. The best teams in the league always get the whistle. That's just the name of the game. We know the refereeing in the NFL, it's not very good, right? I mean, the NFL, the standard of the officiating in the NFL, Scotty, is awful. It's terrible. Even if you are, so for example, being biased towards the Chiefs, which I think the refs probably are slightly, there were 2 blatant pass interference penalties that everyone watching at home and in the stadium saw that didn't get whistled, not because of some vast conspiracy. The referees are just bad. They're just pretty bad at their jobs, relatively speaking.
Look, I think the Chiefs kicked the Dolphins' ass, and I don't think that they won the game because of the refs. I just know the refs give them every call. It is truly unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And then, because on the Wilkins one, Houston got held so bad coming around the right end. On national television, the whole world saw the guy get tackled. No call there, but they call a shove, a roughing the passer, because Mahomes gets up with his whole, Golden Globes, Oscar acting job like he had his arms cut off, and he gets the call every time. It's embarrassing. I thought the Rams-Lions game was great, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I mean, we had basically 2 teams leaving it all out there on the line, but you know what? Sean McVay, he just refuses to be aggressive, right? And that will be the thing that is going to continue to cost him. You cannot, I don't care if it's 4th and 13, I don't care if it's 4th and 97. You're not punting the ball back away with 4 minutes left on the clock. McCarthy did the same thing, by the way, in the Cowboys game. Dak took a terrible sack on 3rd down. They were on the 42-yard line. It was 4th and 13, and they punted it away. I mean, it's just, what do these coaches think they are hoping to accomplish there? Like the teams that do well every single year, the teams that win, they are always the aggressive team. When is the last time one of these conservative teams just like punted and kicked their way to a Super Bowl tie? It just does not happen.
Do you think that the Packers can emulate that performance in Santa Clara getting a 10 spot?
No, I don't think so at all. Although I think probably relative to expectation, Jordan Love was the most impressive player in the NFL this year. I think that the Packers are the youngest team in the NFL. I think we got to give him some real accolades. Like, they're going to lose that game, but Jordan Love, I mean, he's like one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL already, I think.
All right, let's look at your picks for today. It's all evolving rapidly. The Steelers and Bills at Highmark in the Belo in Orchard Park, getting set for 4:30. Let's start with your Josh Allen play.
Yeah, Josh Allen, big games, always likes to run a little bit more. This is like one thing sportsbooks don't adjust for that well in the playoffs, is that quarterbacks across the board run more. So we're taking over 8.5 rushing attempts for Josh Allen. Also, just the fact that the weather is going to be so brutal. We got 40-mile-an-hour gusts. We got snow. It's cold. I just think both teams will probably keep it on the ground a good bit more. So over 8.5 rushing attempts for Josh Allen.
And then the night game, Philly at Raymond James against the Bucks. It looks here like, you might be on the Eagles.
Yeah, we are taking the Eagles -2.5. Look, I know the Eagles stink. They have the 5th worst point differential in the NFL over the last month. They lose to the Cardinals. They lose to the Giants. A.J. Brown is not playing. Matt Patricia is calling plays on. Look, I get it. And what I would say is I don't really see much evidence that the Buccaneers are even better than this like awful version of the Eagles team. But obviously, anytime you're going into one of these games, like the Eagles, we have already seen them be a Super Bowl caliber team, right? I mean, we've seen them go toe-to-toe with teams that are there. Like, really, it was that San Francisco 49ers loss that sent them topsy-turvy and sent their season going the wrong way. But I think the Eagles get it done here. And I think it's not going to be comprehensive. You know, it's going to be kind of like the Chiefs win, where it wasn't the Chiefs of old. They weren't scoring 90-yard touchdowns and scoring 40, but you saw enough of the glimpse of who they could be that you feel better about the performance moving forward.
And then you got Hurts scoring, and what do you got for Quez Watkins? You got Hurts on an anytime tutty at what price?
Yeah, Hurts anytime -140. I mean, if you think the Eagles win like I do, you're probably betting this one up to like -170. It just feels like when they win, he is scoring those tush-push touchdowns. And we've got Quez Watkins over 15.5 receiving yards. I think he fills in the A.J. Brown position. Obviously, he's not as good as A.J. Brown, but I think he should see 5-6 targets tonight and should get over 15.5 receiving yards.
All right, real quick, I got 10 seconds. So you're not picking a side in the Pittsburgh Buffalo, just the Allen rushing. Who wins the game?
Bills win, but I think the cover is going to be pretty close because I think it's going to be low scoring. I would take the under if I needed to.
All right, it's Davis Lee Roth, Maddox. We'll see you again tomorrow, buddy. Enjoy the games today and tonight.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco -120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6 and the 7 seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Adam Kaplan is our NFL insider. He's another one, this guy. How about this guy? So his Eagles are playing tonight in Tampa and for the world. And then what does he want to talk about? He wants to talk about the Cowboys with me. That's what he said. He said, let's talk about the Cowboys. Like everybody else in this business, let's lead and talk about the Cowboys all day. And let me tell you something. Before you get started, they already fired Mike McCarthy. That happened last night when they beheaded him. Just like in Daredevil, when the guy, Wilson Fisk, takes the guy's head to the Cadillac car door and chops his head off with the car door. That's what they did to him last night with the team jet, Jerry Jones jet. They took the door and chopped his head off. He's fired. I cannot believe I had to watch people all day that do television for a living ramble and yak just never just saying it. He's so fired. His whole house is on fire.
First of all,
if that guy's the coach next year, I will walk out of here. You'll never see me again.
Well, remember how many years everyone was saying Jason Garrett would be canned, he wasn't? Now, Jason Garrett obviously knew Jerry Jones because he played for him when he was Troy Aikman's backup. But
please,
How'd
that go?
Not well enough. That's why Mike McCarthy became the head coach. But with McCarthy, he signed a 5-year deal in 2020, 1-3 in the playoffs. This embarrassing loss for Ferrall. They never led. They were down by more than 30 in the third quarter. Forget what the final score was and what the yardage looked like. Dak Prescott putting the ball up 60 times. This is an absolute embarrassment. Both sides of the football, not just offense struggling, defense struggling. They didn't do anything right in that game. It's really, quite frankly, hard to believe. At home, where they had not lost Ferrall in the regular season since week 1 of the 22 season, when Tom Brady and the Bucs came in there and beat them.
That's not true. No, that's not true. They lost to the Lions a couple of weeks ago in the game that the NFL fixed and gave the Cowboys the win. The end of the game when the Lions had a 2-point conversion and Decker checked in and caught the ball in the end zone. When the Lions beat them and they wiped that win out and gave it to the Cowboys, they lost, and then they lost again. And then how many times now have they lost in the last 30 years? All they do is lose.
It's really incredible. Think about it, Ferrall. They have not been back to the championship game since 1995. And you can include
what
this
a
season.
Shame.
So, with Mike McCarthy, the bottom line is this team underachieved. By the way, they've got some big contractual challenges coming up here. They got to extend Mike Parsons' contract. And you really have to wonder what in the world happened to this team and this coaching staff, which was given a lot of license here, a lot of confidence by Jerry Jones that they could get it done, and they didn't. Boy, Dak Prescott struggled. This is almost hard to believe at home. They could fall flat. And this is the kind of game that gets coaches fired. It is what it is. McCarthy signed that 5-year deal in 2020, 1-3 in the playoffs as Cowboys head coach. And obviously, as you know, it did not end well for him with the Packers. And that's where we are right now. We're waiting for Jerry Jones to make a decision, one that many people believe around the league, with someone else being a head coach. And by the way, Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones know each other from their time at the NFL meetings over the years. Keep an eye on Belichick here. See, there's the reason why there's rumors out for all to clear stuff up. It's just because Jerry, at 81 years old, it's hard to imagine he would bring in a young head coach who needs grooming that maybe it'll take them 3, 4, 5 years to get to a Super Bowl. They want to get back there now. And to do that, and Bill Belichick has a chip on his shoulder after what happened in New England, that's why that would make some sense.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, but them getting back to a Super Bowl now is one of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever heard in my life. They win a game in the postseason for 30 years, and you want to talk to me about winning Super Bowls? You know what that is? That's that America's team bullshack. That's that millions of fans and the long reach of the Cowboys fandom all over the globe and their 100,000 fans that poured out of that stadium like it was on fire yesterday as they were booing them for 4 quarters, winning a Super Bowl, my ass. Okay, how does that sound? Here's another one for you. Micah Parsons, best player in the NFL. Great game he had with his 1 tackle. You talk about quitters. You know what he was doing? He quit so early in that game, he actually did his 5 podcasts for the week on the sideline because he never played football. And let me tell you something else. The year and I'm going to throw this out there, the year that Aaron Donald won the Defensive Player of the Year over Watt beat him in every stat category in the NFL defensively, got screwed over because Aaron Donald's a popularity contest. Watt should have won it 4 years in a row, just like he won 3 sack king. He's the sack king in the NFL, back to back. And then they skipped a year, and then he won it again this year. And he did more injured than Micah Parsons. Oh, my God, the way they talk about this guy like he's the greatest player on earth. Do not argue with me. He quit yesterday. He had 1 tackle. He played like a little girl all day long, and he had that pouty little quitter face on all day. Let's stop knobbing the Cowboys and talk about them like they are. Quitters, losers, and their owner doesn't know what he's doing either. And his son sits next to him, gasping for air because his father has sucked the air out of the room every year for the last 30 years. Thank God for me. Oh, God, thank God for me. You can't even argue it.
No, let me add this. The issue with this football team is the football character. I got that from another GM. He goes, they always draft for the big-time talent. Many of them lack proper football character. That means always doing the right thing, playing where you're supposed to be playing, lined up where you're supposed to be lined up. This is a continuing problem year after year after year. They have to draft better character players, and this is why they'll never win anything the way that they do things. And they need better discipline. And that could be coming here with Bill Belichick or somebody else. But, man, what an absolute disaster. Just an inferno of negativity with Cowboys and their fans, by the way, fighting in the stands. There's so many videos out there with Cowboy fans fighting with each other in AT&T Stadium.
What a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see the videos where they showed them running into the stadium for the game, the start of the game, and then they reversed it in high speed of them all running backwards out to their cars? That was epic. Now let's talk about something that matters. The changing of the guard in the NFL is after 30 years of failure and 9 playoff losses, the Lions finally won a game, and now the biggest losers in the NFL are the Miami Dolphins. They haven't won a playoff game in 24 years. And now the Lions have finally gotten that off their back.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it was close. What I loved about that game last night was no turnovers. The Rams have to look at themselves, their red zone woes. That was a problem, but they moved the ball extremely well. Stafford with a busted finger, busted up, bloodied, did a phenomenal job. The one concern for the Lions, and by the way, they will play at home Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, either against the Buccaneers or the Eagles. But the bottom line is they've got to play better defense on the back end. They're very lucky they escaped with that game, but give them credit. That was an awesome, emotional game. Dan Campbell, for all those people who laughed at Campbell in that opening press conference 4 years ago about bite kneecaps and all that stuff, and he memes and people making fun of him. Phenomenal job he's done. Absolutely phenomenal job. He got the last laugh. That he's an awesome head coach. Everybody buys in. He makes some tough decisions. He had to fire a couple coaches over the years on his staff. But this guy knows what he's doing, and they buy in. What a football team. What a story Jared Goff has been. My only concern would be if Ben Johnson gets a head coaching job and he'll have his pick of the litter. That's going to be a challenge to replace him. Could be Mark Brunell as their quarterback coach. I'm told Mark doesn't want to call the plays. But the bottom line is they're terrifically coached football team. What a great story. It's been over 30 years for them. They're going to host another home game, which is interesting. Usually the third seed doesn't get to host 2 home games, but they're going to. And against either team, the Bucs or the Eagles, a game that's very, very beatable for them.
Yeah, great call by you. Well put. Let me throw one more thing on that fire log. I thought Goff outplayed Stafford, but I thought Stafford's 2 no-look passes in that game. I said watching the game, I went, those were actually better than Mahomes' no-looks. He had 2 no-look passes that were so awesome. I think even the announcer said something about that was like a LeBron no-look. Like, it was really beautiful no-look passes by Stafford. I thought Stafford was a class act all night, even in losing, going up to all those lines and congratulating him. He already has that big ring, so he don't care. All right, Bills, Steelers, Highmark, Below, Blizzard, 4:30 kick. Steelers getting double digits. The total has skyrocketed to 39, and you are giving my Steelers no chance whatsoever.
That's not true. That's actually not true, because when we busted that cap on Friday, I said the number, if it's a 10, I like them to cover it. I'm 2-2 and picking games in the playoffs. So I did say that. Now, here's the thing. The weather's cleared up. It has gone up. The total in 24 hours is going up 4.5. Okay, it's now up to 39 because you've got clear skies, and this is what I was saying off the air to you. Teams that throw the football, if there's very little wind, it's going to be under 10 miles an hour. They don't care how cold it is. Andy Reid talked about that. Mahomes was coming out throwing in that game over the weekend, so he didn't care about the Dolphins. They bogged down in the red zone, but they still scored 26 points. They moved the football. They came out throwing. Josh Allen and the Bills are going to throw the football, and they'll mix James Cook into the run. If your Steelers going to hang in it, it's strictly going to be how they run the football. And, oh, by the way, Rasul Douglas is one of the starting outside corners for the Bills. He's out with his injury. He was a game-time decision, so that's a big deal. That'll help the Steelers. Because the one thing the Steelers do when they throw it, they throw vertically to George Pickens or Deontay Johnson over the middle running after the catch. And let's get Pat Frymuth involved. The Steelers have the firepower to do it, but they're not a heavy passing team. They're going to run the football. This is going to be a fun game today. I think the Steelers will do a little bit better than people think.
Oh, God, the stress I'm under. I got my terrible towel here. For you, Kaplan. Where's your cutout? Where's your Randall Cunningham cutout? Where's your Eagle cutout? Eagles and Bucks tonight at Raymond James. What's the lowdown going into the game in the Gulf Coast? Is it going to be raining all night? Is everybody ready to go?
Rain looks like it's going to be off and on. Jalen Hurts, I'm told he practiced well on Friday. He's got that dislocated right middle finger. He's going to be good to go. But A.J. Brown will not play with that right knee injury. That's a big deal. He's the guy that when the Bucs play man coverage or they blitz, the Eagles are going to want to get it to him, but he is out. Quez Watkins will fill in for him, along with probably Julio Jones. Those are the two guys to take a look at. But that's a big injury. But the one thing the Eagles can do, get it to Dallas Goedert. The Bucs, the worst cover team against tight ends. They're terrible against tight ends the second half of the season. But I still don't understand why the Eagles are a favorite here. Based on the way that they've been playing awful football lately, there's absolutely no reason they should be a favorite. In fact, my personal line would have been the Bucs -2. The Eagles are still a 3-point favorite on the road. I know they crushed the Bucs back in week 3. That might as well have been another season because the Eagles have played poorly in the second half.
I could have sworn, going back to the other game, which is the only one that matters, I could have sworn Carver High told me earlier today that my favorite rapper, Tupac Shakur, will be playing for the Bills today. Is that true?
What is this?
He didn't get the joke. Did you see that, Carver High? He didn't. The Khalil Shakir. He didn't get the Tupac Shakur. He didn't get it, Adam. That's what that green tea does to you. You don't get jokes when I throw them right at you.
By the way, Shakir is a good player, but Gabe Davis is actually a really good run blocking receiver, and he's actually very important to that. He's out with his PCL injury, so that does concern me a little bit. But that's a big 10-point number to give the Steelers here. They've been playing good, efficient football. They could stay within 10. They definitely can.
Here's my prediction for the game. You won't believe this, but I'm really going out on a prop bet here. Nick Herbig to have 11 sacks in the game, filling in for TJ Watt.
Wisconsin. Fire, man. You watch.
Enjoy the games tonight, Adam. Great job, buddy.
Later.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco minus 120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6th and the 7th seed? I need my guys healthier to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong directions? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carver, I got to ask you, because I was talking about Stafford's no-look passes. Like, he had the whole head going the other way. And not only were they no-looks, they were slinging underhanded, like, wrap around the defender. Didn't even see it coming, like, right around a guy, like, with like, a little Jimmy spin. He had it all going, flick of the wrist, like AC/DC. I thought his no-looks, and I thought his on-point game with puka shells was sickening. I have never seen a quarterback that hot all night long lose a game. Like, I can't believe they lost the way he was hooking up with Puka.
Yeah, I thought Stafford played great. Puka was great. We hit him, by the way. Of course, we had him as one of the tutties on Friday for the weekend that came through. Our boy Puka Shells getting us to the window. So
and they covered.
And they covered, which was, I thought they played really well, Scotty. I thought this one fell on McVay a little bit. I thought that the play calling when they got in the red zone wasn't great.
It was weak.
I think they didn't go to, Williams was their guy inside the red zone all year. The guy had 1 billion touchdowns this year. And I know he was a little banged up in the game and he was in and out, but they didn't use Williams a lot in the red zone and they couldn't find Kupp at all. Kupp had a brutal night.
I think he broke his hand. His hand looked enormous.
They put a big cast on his hand. So, but great game. I was happy for the Lions. I was happy that I covered the 3 with the Rams. So that worked out well for me.
The one time they were in the red zone, the first time they got down there and they got 3. Like 3 in a row to the left side. I mean, the first 2 times it was so ugly. Why would you go back a third time to the left side? Like
Change
they cut off to the left. I mean, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I thought where he kicked the field goal to make it a 1-point game. Now I'm glad he did because we got the cover. But with that amount of time left and where they were on the field, probably should have went for it. Glad that he kicked it, but I probably should have went for it there.
I cannot even fathom. When I was at halftime, I was counting money with my tongue on that over. I cannot believe it sat at 47.
That was sick. That was sick that game didn't go over, especially after the way they went up and down the field in the first half.
I lost a dime on that.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall.
Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
All right, back on Coast to Coast on a Misery Monday with Carver High. I got to tell you, I just told my buddy Jimmy Jam down in Hot Town, you better lock up Belichick quick. Like, I don't know what they're waiting for, Arthur Blank, because now that the rumors have started about Dallas and everything else that's going on, if the Atlanta Falcons end up with another Art Smith for like the 5th straight time, some crappy coach, I mean, they might as well just fold up shop and move to Winnipeg like the Thrashers.
Look, I think you're right. It's very important for Arthur Blank to do that because I think the Cowboys, if that's available, which me and you know it's going to be available, he's getting whacked. I mean, I don't see any way that he doesn't after what happened yesterday. Isn't that the best place for him to go? And I know people like, you don't want to work for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones does this. Bill Belichick has known Jerry Jones for 40 years. He understands him. He drinks scotch with him at the end of the bar at every league meeting. They know each other. There's not going to be that. You want to know what Bill's going to care about? He's 72 years old, and that's the roster that gives him the best chance to get his 15 wins and maybe get back to the Super Bowl. That's what matters the most to Bill right now, is that. Not rebuilding the Atlanta Falcons. That ain't going to matter to Bill.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I love the talent in Atlanta, except at quarterback.
Yeah, and that you need it. You got to have a quarterback to win. So unless you want to sell me that Bill's going to bring what? Kirk Cousins there?
Fields.
Get somebody else?
You got to get Fields.
Yeah, they do, but I think the Bears are going to keep him, like we said last week. I think the Bears are going to keep him and trade the pick at number 1.
I think Belichick, I'm hearing that he's, going there, and Blank sent the plane, that he's going down there to talk to him. So, but listen, Jerry can always send a plane to Atlanta to pick him up and divert him from going back home and say, come over here to Big D and we'll take you out for some brisket. I mean, Mafia took me to some place for brisket there. I forget what it was called. There was some funny name of that town in Dallas. I've never eaten so much barbecue in my life. I had gas for a week. It was awesome.
We welcome in all of our radio affiliates. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Monday, of course, Sirius XM 159, Sports Byline. Great to have everybody with us. A special Coast to Coast today, Scotty, because we're going to be here through the Steeler-Bill game, which kicks off in about 30 minutes is when that game is going to get going. Of course, Morency is going to join us at 4:25 East, and the three of us will be together throughout the entire game here on SportsGrid, SportsGrid Radio, etc. Going to have ourselves a fun couple of hours.
Shows you what the manager thinks of me. They put you two gang tacklers up against me. They're like, what we're going to do is we're going to put Carver and Morency on Ferrall all night and ruin his life. Real nice of them, but we can all play games. Right. I'll get even with you at a later date.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure that you will. Now, you would have had Morency anyway yesterday if the game happened
that
when
would have
it
been
was
bad
supposed
enough.
to. So now you got to deal with me too. Now, I wanted to give you this because, like I said, this game's going to kick in about 25, 30 minutes. So this is what Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park looked like when the game was supposed to kick off, Scotty, yesterday. This was the scene at Orchard Park. Take a look at this video. Look at this footage that we have, Scotty. I mean, look at this. You can't even see the building. I mean, this is what they potentially would have played in if this game took place a day
it
ago.
looks to me like the lights are still on. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, Is there? I see the lights are working. I think we
Look
could
at
have
that.
gotten through that. The Steelers could have ran the ball effectively in those conditions.
Now, a picture of what Highmark Stadium looks like just a couple of hours
Oh,
ago.
isn't that
And
lovely
now
for
look
Josh
at the
Allen?
field.
Oh, I
Nice
forgot.
and clear.
How
Here we
many
go. Beautiful day for
rush
football.
passer penalties on the Steelers today? Blowing kisses at Josh Allen, not even touching him. How many will they get? 4? 4 roughing the passer
Yeah.
penalties. They got the field all scraped up nice.
That's nice.
I mean, honestly, it's going to have look, I said it already on the show. They have this all figured out. Mahomes against Josh Allen, just the way they want it at the league office. The Steelers should go to the Anchor Bar and go home. Honestly.
Look, this obviously is a much different game now than what me and you talked about on Thursday and Friday, thinking about what they were going to play in. I think that obviously now in these conditions, it's a bigger deal that TJ Watt's not out there. It's a bigger deal for a few things, but it is going to be cold. I don't think the cold matters as much. The wind isn't going to be there that much. It is what it is, Scotty. They're going to play the game.
I need your guy. The only way we win this game is if
Allen throws the ball the other team.
Look, if they score like what Green Bay did, they were up 14-0. I thought the game was over. If the Steelers get up 7-0, 10-0, and are running the ball well, they have a shot. And they need to pick off Allen twice, and they need him to fumble the ball once or cook. The Steelers have to get 3 or 4 turnovers, and they need to pound the ball running it into the end zone, not like Boswell field goals. They need red zone and kitty cat zone touchdowns. No 3s. When you get it down to the 5, you got to punch it in. There can't be 3s. They need 7s.
They need 7s, and I'm with you. They need to force Josh Allen to look like the Josh Allen that you saw in the first half against Miami last week, the Josh Allen that you saw that opening Monday night game against the Jets, the Josh Allen from the Monday night game against Denver. That's the Josh Allen that the Steelers defense has to force this afternoon in that game. And if they do, and they get that lead that you're talking about, like the Packers did yesterday, you force him to make more mistakes and play more crazy because that's what he does. Puts it all on his shoulders and starts to make some mistakes out there. So this is a flat 10 is where it still is. It is 9.5 over the weekend for a little bit, but back to 10. And the total, which got as low as 33.5 early Saturday morning before they announced the moving of the game, has now got all the way up to 39 as we sit here about 25 minutes to kick, Scotty.
Yeah, I got the Steelers in 10 and the under. I'm not feeling good about it. I pray to God that my team gets lucky. I think the Bills are a way better football team, believe it or not, than the Steelers. I also believe that Josh Allen is a playoff quarterback. He's a stud, and I'm just praying that Rudolph and his luck keeps going. He's won 3 in a row. He's not turned the ball over. Just be smart. Don't turn it over. I pray to God that their running game works and that he throws a couple of nice passes to Johnson and Pickens and Freiermuth and gets some first downs, and they're in the game. The last thing I want to see today is to do this show till 8 Eastern and see a 36-10 Bills win. It's going to be a long night for me. I'd rather lose by 1. I'd rather lose by 3. If they win the game, I'll keel over. I really will. I don't think they can beat them at Orchard Park, but I want them to. I pray to God they do it. And I've seen stranger things happen during my 58 years on this earth, including 6 Lombardi trophies. Count them.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now we saw a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco minus 120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6th and the 7th seed? I need my guys healthier to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High. As you know, I'm under a tremendous strain. I want to talk about this big game 58. Everybody's talking about it. You know what I mean? It's like, they're all getting ready for it. But BetMGM's getting ready in a bigger way. Get into this. Bet $5, get $158 instantly. Use the bonus code SG158. SG, SportsGrid 158. Place your first wager through the mobile app for at least $5. You're going to get 158 instantly in additional winnings regardless of the wager's outcome. Download the app on iOS or Android or visit betmgm.com. Sign up, deposit at least $5 into your new account. Place a wager in the amount of at least $5 at standard odds. Once you have placed a bet, you're going to receive 158 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your wager. You're going to love it. They're just handing you money. Bet $5 and get $158. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. I don't know who came up with that. That guy, they should question him. He's probably a narc. He's probably got inside information. Any guy that set up a deal to give everyone in the country $158 for $5, that's like making an error at the grocery store. The chick presses the wrong button and gives you all the cash in the register, and she's talking to her boyfriend on the phone and just hands you a wad of bills. That's what that is. That's BetMGM just giving away the whole cash register.
And that's how they do it. That's what we like. You got to go ahead. Just open it right up. Boop. You hit the button.
You know what I mean?
Pay it out. That's it. Just pay it out. That's what we have to do here. All right. We have a couple minutes left. Of course, next segment, Gabe's going to join us. Then we'll get right into the Steelers and the Bills in Orchard Park. Everybody's trying to get the TVs set up here. Did you get it all figured out, Scotty? We're good to go with the television aspect.
Yeah.
Of it. You're going to go straight up, or you're going to go straight.
I'm going straight up because I put it on the YouTube TV, hoping that I could, like, a SportsGrid's on there. I thought I'd have SportsGrid on, the Knick game on, and then like the football game on, and it gave me the finger. So but I will say this. I had all 4 college games going. I had 8 different games going on Saturday with Ranieri. So I think it may be one of the best things I've ever done in my life, putting that into my 80-incher in here, because
nice.
I wasn't smart enough to do it. The young gun did it for me. He's going back to San Diego State tomorrow, allegedly, with the snowstorm headed here. Hopefully he'll get out on his flight to San Diego, but he set it up for me. And now I have the ability to watch 4 games at a time, which makes me horny, baby. Horny. All I know is I'm going to go CBS with the Steelers in actual time. I will not be on a stream here. I'm going to go straight time. I don't want to ruin it for you. If you can turn it on CBS. I mean, I know you're living large out there, Carver High, and you can get it in real time.
I'm always behind you. This has been the case for years now, and it's probably going to stay that way because in the office, I don't have the regular cable in the office. Everything is streaming in the office, so that's just the way I'm going to. But that's okay. I'll be able to see it. I'll be able to give you if we miss something, I'll get the second look at it. Probably.
I mean, let me just say this: they are literally there are no. How are these people sitting in the stands? I don't understand.
Well, I've been watching the videos because all the fans are in the stadium now. All they could shovel before people entered the building was the aisles and the walkways. They didn't shovel any of the seats.
Oh my God!
So people are getting to their seats, and there's like 2.5 feet of snow on each seat. So what are they doing, Scotty? If you get to your seat first, they're taking the 2.5 feet of snow and they're dumping it on the seat in front of them or dumping it on the seat behind them. And then the next poor guy comes to his seat, and there's 5 feet of snow on top of his seat. So what's he doing? He's pushing it all next to you. So, look, it is actually, they did an awful job with this. There's got to be a better way in 2024 to clear snow out of a stadium than just pay a bunch of guys $20 and a couple of beers to come there at 3 o'clock in the morning with an old shovel from the 70s and shovel out the snow.
They need to build a dome stadium in Buffalo. You've said it 100 times. They're not a cold weather team. They're not meant to play outside. You think you have this advantage, but you really don't. You said it yourself. They don't play well in snow. They don't play well in 50-mile-an-hour winds. Why not in Antarctica, where they live, build a dome stadium? Now, do they play outdoors in Minneapolis? No. Do they play outdoors in Detroit? No. Do they play outdoors in Indianapolis? And Indianapolis is candy ass. That's not even a snowy place. That's amateur hour. The Bears, they still have an open air, but they turned it into a spaceship, and it keeps the wind out. Back in the day, Soldier Field was open air, and it blew right through those. Remember those cones they used to have at Soldier Field, like the pillars? Yeah. It blew right through there. You couldn't even kick a field goal. I think the Buffalo Bills are stupid to build that $1.5 billion stadium and not put a roof on it. Stupid.
Of course,
they could have Super Bowls, concerts, everything.
Yeah. But I understand the aspect of it. This team, it's not beneficial to them. This current Buffalo Bill offense, it is not beneficial to have them outside in the open air. But the people up there didn't want a roof. They're not getting a roof, and now you basically can't sit in the seats at Highmark Stadium this afternoon.
They all seem happy, though.
Because that crew gets so bombed before they even get into the building that I don't think they're going to care that they have to stand the whole time. There is, of course, a second game after this. I'm sure throughout our hours together, Scotty, we will, during some downtime at some points, maybe at halftime, etc., discuss that the Eagles and the Bucks also play tonight. Eagles -3 in Tampa. A flat 43 is going to be the total there. This one, remember, we thought there might be some weather here as well in terms of rain and wind. Doesn't seem like that's the case tonight. Looks like it's going to be fairly decent maybe a couple of sprinkles here and there in Tampa for this one.
So I love how like Phil Simms goes Bills by 14. Cower, Steelers 15-13. He's homerized milquetoast. Nate is 7-point Bills win, and Boomer's going to bet on he's going to bet on the Bills as sure as I'm sitting here, and so is James Brown. Like none of these people fool me. The only one that'll bet on him is Cower. He's another one. I told you he's in my all quitters club with Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Bill Cower, the quitters club.
Don't we have some story today that Tomlin's going to join the Quitters Club too at 51 years old? Mike Tomlin's going to stop coaching football. Come on, I don't believe for a second that Mike Tomlin's going to have some big discussion with his family after the year and not coach football anymore.
When my daughter doesn't start and doesn't get like 25 minutes of burn in her high school games, she comes home moping, and I always sing the same song. I go, "Well, McKenna is a quitter." Every single day, you know that she's a quitter in some old-fashioned way. She's a quitter today. There's nothing I hate worse than quitters. Like the Cowboys yesterday. Micah Parsons, he's a quitter.
Nobody likes quitters, Scotty, that's for sure.
Nobody
likes that at all. I will let me quickly give you the tutties for today because why not? We might as well get some touchdowns. I got 1,000 other things. I'm sure Gabe's got a billion bets to talk about. Allen at -120. Najee Harris, we gave you that one on Friday. We're going to stick with it. +170 for him. Mike Evans tonight -110. Dallas Goedert at +230. And Latavius Murray, Scotty. I gave you Lenny Fournette on Friday, not playing because the Bills needed to take wide receivers and linebackers off the practice squad. So Latavius Murray at 11-1 will be our backup running back. Possible jam it in there at the goal line pick here for today for this game.
I've got everyone on the Steelers. I got all of your bets going automatic. I got Minka. I got Minka going, Kazi going, Najee going, Warren going, Freiermuth going, Pickens going, Johnson going. How about Hayward with a scoop and score? I got like 9 Steelers scoring touchdowns.
I added Trent Sherfield, too. He's going to play the Gabe Davis role today. It was a nice price at 7-1, and I got him for 50-plus receiving yards at +652. Let's go.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco -120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6th and the 7th seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
A lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, back on C2C, we bring in the one and only Morency, the Malachi Crunch. Look at these two communists. I got Morency in his jersey, and then I got look at this guy with his sport coat on. We got the Bills broadcast team.
Where's your terrible towel?
Jersey. I got your terrible towel right here.
There you go.
That's all I got. Like, I was gonna bring down my Steelers country sign, and my son wasn't having any of it. I was going to bring down one of my Steeler jerseys and Dermontti Dawson autograph. My son wasn't having it, so here I sit as like I'm going to church. I need a lot more than jerseys and signs and God. And what I need is some scotch, because they're playing the Bills, and the Bills are better than the Steelers game. We all know that. The Steelers have to get – I told Mike they need 3 or 4 turnovers, and they need to run the ball for 200 yards and get tutties, not field goals. That's their only chance.
If you want to hang your hat on something, coming into this, guys, no 7 seed had ever won before. They were 0-6. The Green Bay Packers obviously ended that. So the Pittsburgh Steelers come in this situation right now. The weather, could be bad in the city, and the snow is in the stands. It's like Scarface. That's pretty disgraceful, isn't it? A multi-billion-dollar corporation like the Buffalo Bills offering people $20, a couple of fat drunk
and
guys,
the league
shirtless
does
dudes come
nothing
in.
about it. The league didn't help.
Like, you're telling me you don't have snow removal companies in the city that you could have hired to actually do this for the fans so they don't have to sit in 3 feet of snow? But as far as the game is concerned, I think the Buffalo Bills will get it done. I think they're going to cover the number. I don't think they're going to smoke them, though. I think they're going to win by about 13 points or so. So we laid 9.5 with the Bills. We played a Bills teaser to the under, guys. So this game's got to go under 46 right now for us. Bills win, goes under 46, but it's a tough game from a betting perspective. So I like to attack this from a plus money perspective, guys. Same game parlays. Buffalo Bills to win, Josh Allen to score a touchdown, plus 100. Buffalo Bills to win, Stephon Diggs to score a touchdown, plus 145. I'm sure my boy Carver will like this one, and I really think he can score, Carver. Bills to win, Dalton Kincaid touchdown, plus 300. That's a nice payday right there. Bills win, Dalton Kincaid, plus 300. We played another same game parlay. This was a boost that we got. Stephon Diggs to score a touchdown, Diggs 75 or more yards, and Diggs over 4.5 catches at plus 400. I'm a big fan of the long field goal prop. I like to play to the over, but it is going to be windy in here. I'm not sure the coaches are going to want to try a 46-yard field goal. It's 45.5, so I actually bet the under of that. And just to get a little bit of a head start, guys, on the Monday Nighter tonight, I teased the Buffalo Bills from 10 down to 3, and I teased the Tampa Bay Buccaneers up to 10.
So, Carver High, he sounds like me when I was kidding, when I had 9 different Steelers scoring touchdowns. The difference being is that Morency's got like 9 Bills scoring, and he means it. I mean,
I got Najee Harris to score a touchdown.
Who isn't scoring for the Bills?
Najee Harris, too.
Najee Harris, your boy Najee Harris, plus 160 to score a touchdown. Not bad odds, actually. So I do have a Steeler to score. I do have a Steeler.
Oh, there's the one Steeler score for the day. Morency's got 42. The water boy's going to come in and kick a 54-yard field goal.
Mason Rudolph, it was a cute story on Christmas Eve and all that.
Oh,
and
here we
Rudolph,
go.
the red-nosed reindeer, comes in.
Cinderella ends today.
But you read my mind, Scott, 'cause I was thinking there's another fairy tale out there. And the slipper gets smashed. Christmas is over, Rudolph.
It's over.
I hope
with Dave
Steeler
on
fans
Kincaid,
throw
so
snowballs
I hope
and hit Sean McDermott in the back of his head the whole game from like the
He'll
14th
wrestle
row.
him,
Some
man.
fat
He can
guy
wrestle,
just
man.
pelting him with snow.
National champion high school prep wrestler, my boy Sean.
I don't care.
Sean McDermott and Mike Tomlin were roommates. They're buddies. These guys are actually tight. William and Mary repping tonight.
I'm not. I like you guys usually, and today I don't. How's that sound? Like we're all roommates and friends. Screw both of you.
We're all friends.
I don't
Our
like
boy
anyone.
Steve Merrill went at the same time. You know, my guest Steve Merrill, the handicapper. He's been on with us before, Scott.
Yeah.
He actually went to William and Mary at the same time as they did. So he knows them a bit. Like they were all there at the same time.
I'm with Gabe on the Kincaid. I got Kincaid actually, Gabe, without the win the other
slept
day at
with
plus
Mary,
325.
actually.
So we
He
have
was good in
Kincaid
bed.
headed for a tutty at plus 325.
It's better than
Gabe,
William.
I added Sherfield. I put Sherfield in there with Gabe out.
Not if there's anything wrong with that.
There is
Sorry,
something wrong with it. I got Mary, quite contrary. That was great, Morency. I'm sorry, Carver.
It's going to be
Carver,
quite the day today.
This
is what happens on Sundays, Carver.
Yeah, I know. This is what goes on with the two of you. I added Sherfield, Gabe, just because with Davis being out.
No
I got
Davis.
Sherfield for 50-plus yards, boosted up to 1050, plus 1050. Sherfield anytime touchdown, boosted up to plus 845. So I'm in on Sherfield here, being kind of that next guy, along
What
with
do you think?
Shakir and Diggs to maybe catch some yardage.
I don't even know who that is.
Running one of the wide
He caught
receivers
the
in
tip
Gabriel
ball
Davis
last
is out.
week in the back of the
Yeah.
end zone. He caught the tip ball
One
in the
thing,
back of
though,
the end zone last week.
I like Cook a lot. I stayed away from him though. I think
too.
that he's flashy and stuff. Ball security, a little bit of an issue. And let's be real, if they get inside the 5, it's Josh Allen. Like, this is a playoff game. They're not going to play around. That's why, like, if I had to play, like, Josh Allen scoring a touchdown, guys. Like, and I sort of thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I like Warren, but Harris has shown a lot of aggression, Scott, as you know, on goal line situations.
Right.
He's running hard. So I think and I don't trust Mason Rudolph. For whatever it's worth, Mason Rudolph played in a cold weather game, and he didn't play very well. Like, if you look at Mason Rudolph's history, he's not really a great cold weather quarterback. Doesn't look terrible there. A little chilly, a little windy, but
It doesn't even look bad at all. I'll tell you what,
Doesn't
real
look
quick.
like it snowed.
It is not even a factor. The only thing the weather is affecting in this game today is the people in the stands.
the fans.
That's
the
it.
fans around it sucks for
There's
them.
no
Yeah.
wind. The field is perfect. The goddamn
Dude, look
sun
at
is
this.
out.
They just showed the stand
Well,
zone.
they-
There's like
they
literally
all have to
feet
stand.
of snow. You saw it, Carver, in the end
They
zone.
all have to stand. They can't sit down. Everybody's going to be standing the entire game.
Look at the
because there's
snow.
3 feet of snow on every seat. They didn't
Look-
clean it.
Let me ask
Look at
you.
them. They're
How do
drinking
you
beer.
tell-
They don't even care how cold it is. They're drinking cold Bud Lights by the 40-ounce cans. They're not afraid of this. This is candy-ass football. This
Oh, it
is
is.
a normal Bills game in
Yeah, I see
December
guys.
or
They're not even.
January.
They don't even have gloves on. I see people like they're drinking beer. They don't have gloves on. But like, how do you tell where your seat is? Like,
They're
if it's covered in
underway.
snow.
Right.
They're underway.
I think this just became everybody walk through the door all gassed
Yeah,
up.
just
and they
stand
said,
around
"I'm in
wherever
this
the hell you want."
section. Just pick a spot in the section you're supposed to be in and stand up and watch the game. That's it. First come, first serve, first section.
You're gonna come
Let's
around.
go.
Hey, I think you're in my seat. You're moving the snow
Yeah.
out of the way.
Here's my stub. Get lost.
Yeah, I'd
Go
be like,
stand
I don't
over
care,
there. We're
bro.
all
Just
standing.
stand there,
Come on.
whatever.
Look,
That's what the Rose Bowl was like, actually.
I wanna
People
go
were
to the
Is this
game,
my seat?
and I
It's
don't
like, dude,
wanna
you're in
get-
the Rose Bowl. Just stand there. Who cares?
I don't want to get in a fist fight at the game like yesterday in Dallas. They were beating each other up on the same team. Like, how embarrassing when Cowboy fans are fisting with other Cowboy fans. I just
They
want to go
suck.
to the game as a Steeler fan or a Bills fan and get home
So
without
Steelers-
blood on my shirt. I just want to have
No,
some
it'll be
beers
fine.
and watch a good game. Here's Najee, 1 yard.
Steelers
That's
get the
it.
ball
It's going to
first.
be a long day.
Steelers get the ball
I just
first.
saw the kickoff now, so that's good. That Najee's already
Oh
got that
boy, we're
carry.
all
I
over the
just saw
place
them
here.
kick the ball off.
Okay,
By the way,
where are you,
Rudolph
Scott? What
led the
second are you at?
NFL. He
Where are
led
you at
the
right
NFL.
now?
They're coming out of the huddle right now.
No, you had 14-30.
Yeah, it's second
14-29.
down. Second and 8.
I haven't even seen the Harris carry
Listen,
yet, so I'm going to be always third.
Rudolph led the NFL week 16, 17, and 18 in quarterback rating and everything, and in completion percentage. So he played really well. Here he is dropping back, and the Steelers are rolling, Warren, with a big gain of 30. The Steelers are rolling early. Try that on for size.
Little screenplay that turned into a big gain. I don't
Yeah.
know. It looks like if it's rain or wet snow or something, it looks like there's something a bit, sort of a little bit of a drizzle in the air there suddenly right now. But yeah, big play for Warren. Little dump off.
You know, they need to
Little
not
fake
turn the
handoff.
ball over. Rudolph didn't turn the ball over for the last 3 weeks. Do that today, and you got a shot. Don't turn the ball over. And we know Allen turns the ball over. So whoever makes mistakes turning the ball over, you're going to regret it. Here they are at midfield already, the Steelers. If they go down and score, it's like the Packers. They were getting 10. The Packers were getting 7. They went up 7. Then they went up 14. The game was over. If the Steelers go down and score, I don't think they will, but if they do, and I'm sitting there 17 zip with the spread, I may start drinking. I mean, honestly, I may go out and get a bottle, Morency, and you know I'm very capable of getting a bottle and bringing it down here and start going fingers 3 deep.
I just hope they fumble on this next play here.
This
This guy's getting pretty fired up on a couple of plays. Like, all right. It's going to be a long afternoon here.
Third down. He threw a deflection.
Already comparing it to the Cowboys. I like this. The Packers.
Oh, God,
up
I'm
and
on
like
first
those.
down here.
Well, the Packers got the ball. They got the ball, and they went down and scored. You can't tell me that didn't set the mood for the date.
Yeah.
And then now the Steelers had a shot here getting the ball to midfield, but it's third and long. I don't like third and longs on the road in bitter cold weather. This guy's been a lot better at third and short.
You want to stay ahead of the sticks. Third and 8.
Did the Bills defer in this one? Did the Bills win the toss? Because they always defer. I guess that's why the Steelers.
I don't know.
If I was the Bills, I would have took the ball first, like the Packers did yesterday, and try put a 7 right out of the gate on them. That's what I would have done.
So they got a punt. It's incomplete. They got a punt already.
There we go.
Let's go.
The party's over already.
go.
Give us the ball.
Oh, the game's over.
Give us the ball.
Now the Bills are going to go to their 5th Super Bowl. They've done so well in the previous 4.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
Right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I don't
favorite.
care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco -120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6th and the 7th seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles. Ridiculous what they did this week.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night. only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, C2C, we're all over the Bills and Steelers game in the Below at Orchard Park at Highmark. Josh Allen has it now already, throwing a quick slant at 2nd and 5, and they have the ball. They stopped the Steelers. Steelers had one good play, and that was it. They got to midfield and had to punt, and now it's going to be 3rd and 1, less than 1 for the Bills in their own end. And, he's had 44 TDs. He's also had 22 giveaways this year. Second in the NFL in giveaways. I think second in the NFL in points. The guy scores touchdowns and he gives the ball away. So on that 3rd down, I think they got it. I think they're going to give him the 1st down. So 1st down Bills. So they're going to get another crack at it. I know.
Josh Allen.
I think so. They got it.
Yeah, listen, they've kind of become the new Eagles with this. With the push, right? They've realized, all right, just to push Allen. This is their new gig. I don't like how he leaves his feet all the time when he does this, though. He jumps up often, and he jumps too soon. But as far as the turnovers are concerned with Josh Allen, I think, Scott, he's more prone to turnovers in like a track meet type of game when there's going to be like a ton of when he's going to throw the ball on. There's going to be like a lot of decisions have to be made. I think this game's going to be a little bit more systematic. And here's a play for the Bills. Big catch. There's our boy Kincaid at midfield. But you got to take the good with the bad with Josh Allen. You accept it. I almost don't mind it. Listen, he turns the ball over and just sort of gets them going after. Brett Favre, John Elway, a lot of great quarterbacks in the National Football League have turned the football over. And, what the positives, the positives outweigh the turnover or two. The Bills are trying to do it different this year, guys. We've seen in past years. They put up stupid, crazy numbers, and they fell short. Now they're just sort of winning ugly. Every week it's different. They just sort of survive in advance. This might be the way for them to do it as they move the ball right now to the 40-yard line. There's our boy Diggs.
Yeah, they're getting a 1st down on every play. They're moving the ball easily against Pittsburgh. I didn't think the coverage on Kincaid was bad. I thought the linebacker was all over him. He just made a great catch. I think it was just because of his height. He had him by a foot, and the guy reached up to knock it down, and Kincaid made the grab. Then he throw it to Diggs and get another 1st down.
Kincaid didn't even play football?
Then you run it for 3 or 4. They're doing whatever they want to the Steelers right now.
I was going to throw it out there. Dalton Kincaid, he played football as a kid, and he didn't like it in high school. Yeah. He was getting hit. He got hurt and stuff. He was like, it's not for me. And he was playing flag football. He was like a flag football champion. Like, they were like, dude, they're like, listen, you're so effing good, bro. Will you know what I mean? Will you just try it again? Just try it again. And the rest is history. Here he is in the National Football League lighting it up right now. So, all you flag football players out there, there's a root for you. I'm telling you.
It's true. He walked away.
I'm dead serious.
Glad that he did.
And now the flag football is going to be in the Olympics too, right? And NFL players are going to be playing. It's really going to, it'll really start to pick up. I'm just saying, you'll start to see some wide receivers. They'll be like, he was a flag football star, and we convinced him to play,
Yeah, and Tiddlywinks is next in the Olympics too. Honestly, the day that they
they've had ballroom dancing.
Haro's
honestly,
gonna get him to put the pickleball in, right? Haro's going to get them to put pickleball in the Olympics next.
That's
coming for sure.
Paris Pickleball Olympics. Haro will be there.
Doing a video standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. Oh, windy. I'm Rick Haro in Paris.
They're already down to the 10-yard line.
Bills are moving the ball. Bills are moving the ball. Who's going to score the touchdown? Who's going to score the touchdown?
I'm still on the Diggs catch. I just saw the second Diggs catch that got him to
Carver's
25.
on the Diggs catch.
No, I'm still on the second Diggs catch. I'm at the 25-yard line here.
Scotty's like a second ahead of me, just a little bit. They snap. It's bothering me, too.
Carver High's still watching the Texans game. That's how slow this is.
Flacco just threw another pick over here on my TV. This is great.
This is so Scotty stated first down on the 12-yard line. First and 10 on the 12. They give it to Cook.
Look at Cook. Look at that run. I'm on the last Cook run, by the way.
Everything the Bills are doing is work so far, Scott, right? Left, right,
Carver
pass.
High, you should just stay out of the play-by-play of this. You're so far behind. I'll just tell you what happens, and then you react. And you watch it's like you're watching the highlight. You're so far behind me.
For him. Gaping holes for Cook.
It's second and 7 from the.
Who can
from
score the
10.
touchdown here? I wouldn't mind a little quarterback
There's
draw
a
here,
touchdown. That's a touchdown. Knox, I think.
Oh no!
Oh, easy Knox of all people. I knew it was going to be the tight end, but I wanted Kincaid. Touchdown,
Easy money.
Buffalo. Wide open.
Let's go.
I think that really defined the day. I mean, they went down the field so easily that to me just spells doom. Like the Pittsburgh defense couldn't
look at
stop
the Steelers.
Jack.
Look at the Steelers secondary. They're actually fighting with each other.
Well,
a little early in the game
open.
to turn on each other.
I mean,
They're
the guy
like mad. He's like,
could have been
what
sitting
the
on a
heck?
toilet. He was so wide open.
Yeah, number 20 snapping at everybody. He's like, what the F did you guys all this do? A little early in the game, like for finger point. Like they were like clearly like they were both literally pointing fingers at each other. Like, what did you do? What did you do? Look at look at that ball. Barely the extra point barely got through. Little windy there. 7-0 Bills,
not
baby.
Be fun today, that's for sure. Kicking will not be fun.
Look on Scott's face right now, already defeated. I see that look.
This isn't surprising to me. This is painful to me that I have to sit here with you two idiots for 4 hours and watch you kick the Steelers' ass, and that the suits at SportsGrid think it's funny too. I told you I'm going to get even with all of you mother Ferrallers one day. So enjoy your day today, because when I get even with you, you're going to be crying. There won't be any crying for me today, but when I get even with you, you won't forget it. So one day, real soon, your team gets to the Super Bowl and loses. I'm going to literally have sex with you on television, and we'll see how funny it is when you guys lose another Super Bowl, because you're real good at that.
There's no need to
lose them. We win 6, you have none. How's that taste?
There's no need to hate on the Bills.
Yeah, there is.
It's just a wild card game.
I already knew the Bills would win today. I'm not stupid. I just need the Steelers to cover, and they're not going to do that either. And I blame the Rams. Now. And whoever else.
Yeah, what is it now?
Packers.
16.5 is the live number. 41.5 the live total.
Jesus, now it's 16.5?
16.5 after that one.
Jesus, they're going to lose by 20. Oh my
I did play an odds boost as well. Josh Allen, 1 or more passing touchdowns, and Josh Allen 200 or more passing yards at plus 100. So we're off and running.
He's already got 100. He's already got 100.
I don't know how many yards he passed for. He's got the touchdown, though. So there it is. Of all people, though, Knox. I don't have Knox. I didn't have Knox. Did you have Knox?
I didn't have Knox either. I didn't have Knox at all.
He hasn't played.
I usually sprinkle him for first touchdown, too, and he was 25-1 today.
But the Steelers are bad against tight ends. That's why I knew. Yeah. I'm like, Kincaid, I don't know.
That's why we're on Kincaid. We were in on Kincaid, but damn.
Kincaid will catch a touchdown in the next 15 minutes. Calm down.
Me and Gabe will be happy about that. We both got him to score. Let's get Kincaid in there.
That guy was so wide open. He looked like a French hooker, honestly. Honestly, it was embarrassing. So I don't even want to, Kincaid, he'll have a touchdown. Kincaid will have 2 touchdowns by halftime.
Hey, that wasn't Matt Canada's fault, was it? Can't blame Matt Canada for that.
No, can't do that.
Gabe, give me some of your weed. Honestly, I need it right now. I just pass it through the monitor.
Reach through that. Am I having some of that heart medication or something to soften the pain?
10+ yards on the drive. 4 plays of 10+ yards.
Yeah.
They were cutting
6
through them like
first
butter.
downs on one drive, guys. They had 6 first downs on that drive.
Well, of course they did. They went 80 yards.
Listen, you can't start better than that if you're the Bills.
No, like that's
as
like
good a start as you could ever have.
Like some teams don't have 6 first downs and a half, guys. You know what I mean? The Bills just racked up 6 first downs on one drive.
This game will be over before the game will be over before the sun goes down.
This is a big drive. You were talking about earlier about, when Green Bay scored earlier, you don't want to fall too far behind here with Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
You want to try to, this is a big possession here. Like, don't turn it over. Like, at least eat some clock up and punt. What's the new total here right now? This game's a little,
I think
41 and a half.
The Bills' defense
41.
the last 8 weeks has been back to playoff caliber style of stopping teams.
And they've had a ton of injuries, Scott.
And they're making life miserable for the Steelers. Running or passing is an impossibility. I do not believe
Rasul Douglas is out today, too.
They'll be able to run the ball against them. They're just, they're like 8 in a box. They're not running against them. They already know what the game plan is. They're daring Rudolph. No.
Well, they're playing one-on-one, and they're like, all right, Mason, you beat us one-on-one.
They can't. It's 3rd and 8 again.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't mind it, Scott. At least they can't go 3 and out quickly. Like, you can't drop back, throw to stop the ball, and then, like, suddenly put your defense in there. Like, at least at minimum. That's why I said.
They're going to do right now.
I know. They're just trying to eat clock up to try to give their defense a minute to breathe here. Big 3rd and 5 coming up here.
3rd and 5. That looks like 3rd and 8 to me. Oh, and now it looks like 3rd and 5. They gave him a couple extra yards on the run. When I saw the Bills throw one of the linemen back 9 yards with a body fling, I thought maybe it was an 8-yard deficit. I didn't know what
And Carver knows this. One thing the Bills have gotten good at, Carver, over the last month or so, their D-line's been good. Like Russo and these guys, they're getting at the quarterback.
He just threw one out of bounds and broke some lady's nose in the 5th row. It was such a bad pass.
Yeah, because the Bills are good at this, Scott. They're good at, like, getting their hands up. They disrupt quarterbacks. They're good at this now. They bat a lot of balls and stuff. It's, like, hard for a quarterback.
He just threw the ball to you.
Let's see.
In Vancouver. That's how bad that pass was.
Scott's not exaggerating. Dude, you're right. He just literally, not even exaggeration, he just threw that ball into the 4th row. And he wasn't throwing it away. He tried to throw it to an open receiver, and it ended up in the 4th row. He literally did end up in the 4th row.
It was
like it's almost impossible to do what he just did.
He threw it to some lady in a Freiermuth jersey. She looked like Freiermuth. She was having a beer, and he threw it to her.
Even everybody on the field, the players sort of just looked at the ball like, what? And watched
it happen. And after that play, they just showed Johnson. You guys might have missed it. I'm getting the 1 minute later. And Johnson's already, like, kind of throwing the arms in the air. Like, where the hell
the wide receiver is like,
Johnson, where was that ball? He kind of gave him a look.
He really did sail that into the stands.
And I keep telling you, this kicker absolutely is hairdryer city, this fat ass. He can't kick. Honestly, I kick better when I'm sleeping. Honestly.
The best is, in the last commercial break, Scott, like, overheard me tell Carver Mason Rudolph sucks, and Ferrall got all mad. Hey, you're 5 having touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. You guys suck. And now he's ready to turn on him. You're ready to turn on Rudolph.
No, I'm not turning on him. I thought the kid played great for the last 3 weeks. And I'll tell you one thing. He put Kenny touchdown back in his, warm-up jacket, and Trubisky's going to be looking for a job. I thought Rudolph played his ass off. Like I said, he led the NFL week 16 through 18 in percentage completions and quarterback ratings. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. But today he looks like he's awful.
quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now he's all a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
San Francisco minus 120 to win the NFC Championship. It's the Cowboys with the second best number. The Eagles at 7-1.
What the hell's the difference between the 6th and the 7th seed? I need my guys healthy here to make a playoff push. They took the bye week and still won the football game. You want to talk about two franchises going in the wrong direction? The Eagles, ridiculous what they did this week.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's a lot of fun to do because you could kind of, place a season-long bet all at once and just wait it out. I've always found that interesting. But New York is one state where it's a little bit unclear.
You cannot bet on basically anything that requires a vote. So you're talking about an MVP award, a Cy Young, a Rookie of the Year, anything where people at the end of the year have to vote.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
And I tell you what, there's 1,000,001 coaching vacancies right now. Brady Cannon is a candidate for the Vegas Raider job. Like there's so many jobs available right now. NFL teams are coming to the grid for our talent. So there's that many head coaching spots available right now. I'm going to submit my resume.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, back on Coast to Coast with the great Morency and, of course, my boy Carver High. Your boy Patrick Peterson, the veteran who's been on this show at the Super Bowl in Phoenix. Cool dude. I mean, that was you know what he looked like there, Carver High? He looked like Giancarlo Stanton striking out in a Yankees game. How about the miss on the safety blitz? The guy had Allen dead to rights for a 15-yard loss. Nobody around him. I mean, like a missile, he went after him and missed him completely. That is flat out embarrassing. They stopped him on third down with an incomplete pass, but it should have been 3rd and 35.
Yeah, that's a play right there. Josh gets out of a lot of those, but still, if you're Patrick Peterson, you have to. You were there that early. You're blind. You got to take him down there, and he just did not wrap him up.
Yeah, but Patrick Peterson and other quarterbacks, it doesn't work. So it's actually flawed. You can blitz all you want with these DBs. The DBs get to Josh Allen, and they realize as they're approaching, this guy's like a lot bigger than I am. How big is Patrick next to Josh Allen? Josh Allen's like a monster next to him.
Arm tackled him like a girl. It was the worst miss I've seen all year. I don't care.
Don't blitz a defensive back. If you blitz a defensive back against a 6'5" quarterback, what do you think is going to happen? Exactly what just happened.
No. What I think would have happened there would have been they would have roughing the passer penalty for Allen because he gets as many calls as Mahomes does. How's that taste? You touch him and you get a flag. He should have knocked his ass on the ground. That was a horrible miss. He looked like that 197 hitting, $35 million hack Stanton. That's what he looked like with that swing and a miss. My daughter would have tackled him. Jesus, what a miss. I was like, oh, my God. I've never seen a guy whiff that bad. Nobody around him, and he missed him. I mean, it was embarrassing. God
that was
almighty.
I'm
going to have to get my pills.
For the Steeler D. Big stand
Jack
for the
me
Steeler
nimble,
D.
get my pill box and get the scotch out of the top cabinet. I'm starting to feel numbing in my shoulder.